You are Locked On Coogs, your daily podcast on the Houston Cougars, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
But first, today's show is also brought to you by Intuit TurboTax, and this message is from Intuit TurboTax. Taxes used to be waiting and wondering and worrying if you were ever going to get any money back, and then you're waiting and wondering and worrying some more. Now, Taxes is matching with a TurboTax expert who can do your taxes as soon as today. An expert who gives you your taxes their undivided attention, and as they work on your return, you get real-time updates on their progress. You can focus on the rest of your day. An expert will find you every deduction possible, file every form, every investment, everything with 100% accuracy. So you make sure you can get all you can to get the most money back guaranteed. No waiting, no wondering, no worries. This is Taxes. Get an expert now at TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live full services. Real-time updates only on iOS mobile app. See guaranteed details at TurboTax.com/guarantees. Park Ranger Locked On Coogs here, talking about Houston and Oklahoma State meeting for the second time this season on Tuesday night. Now, a lot of things at stake for Houston this week coming out of the malaise that was the Texas Tech game over the weekend, right? Luckily, you didn't have a big Monday game. You got an extra day there to rest for Tuesday night Big 12 action. And I think it's surprising as any with how 11 top 25 teams lost on Saturday. So Houston, with a 1-point loss at home to a top 25 Texas Tech team, actually moved up a spot in the AP poll, went from 6th to 5th. Texas Tech jumped from 22nd to 13th for what it's worth. But there's just that's just how much carnage there was at the top of this one. Now, I don't mean to say that like they're focused on AP rankings and things like that in the Houston Cougar locker room, but I do think like that shows that people are expecting a lot out of you as a program, that you can take a loss and move up a spot in the AP poll, kind of no matter what happened around you, honestly. So that's one of the things I think is at stake, is things worth keeping an eye on in this game. I think the Emmanuel Sharp thing, he's going to miss the week, and we'll talk in a second about how this could be the best week of the season for him to have missed, at least of the Big 12 season. But honestly, you hadn't seen this team. Having two shooters on the floor, both Sharp and Cryer, helps this team out a lot on offense. With Cryer on, who's going to be the other guy to pull the floor the other direction? Who's your other spacer? What you're going to do? Big picture kind of thing. I think Houston finds a way to win on Tuesday anyway, even if they can't find that. But in terms of like finding your identity as a team, you kind of want to know who that is. Francis is questionable as they're recording this podcast. By the time you've heard this, you might have heard more on that. Francis took a hit to the nose-face area. It sounds like they're going to try and evaluate him some on Monday after giving him Sunday to kind of recover. So we shall see. The biggest thing there is Houston's a lot thinner in the front court. And so while obviously it'd be great to have Javier Francis at 100% health because he's really good, coming off the bench, he's really excelled in that role this season as the bench big. It also behooves them to just have more guys there for when foul trouble is inevitable. As I mentioned in the first segment, JoJo Tugler did foul out in the first matchup between these two teams. And it's interesting because you got this week, right, where like you don't know what Francis' health is going to be, you don't know what Emmanuel's health is going to be, etc. And I'm very serious to say I don't think it's a Big 12 week. It could have been better. You've already played this team, you already beat this team, you already know who this team is. You feel like you did it pretty comfortably at their place. So again, you should shoot better at home. You should have some crowd there on Tuesday night. Certainly a lot more people in red than orange, but we'll see. That's Tuesday night. Saturday, you're heading to Colorado, and this could change between now and then. But as of the recording of this podcast, Colorado still has not won a Big 12 basketball game. They're 0-10 officially in conference, but they also played Iowa State at one of those Thanksgiving area tournaments. And so they're technically kind of 0-11 in conference. The only power, this is hilarious to me, so I want to emphasize this. The only Power 4 team or Power 5 team in basketball that uh, that Colorado has beaten is UConn, which is crazy that they did it in Maui. UConn struggled in Maui, but still kind of crazy. Like Colorado's losing to Iowa State by 28. Colorado is losing to what else is on here? BYU by 16. They lost to Arizona State in the final minutes. They lost to TCU by 11. 0 for Colorado in the Big 12. You get them next Saturday, right? Now you have to go up to Boulder. Anything can happen in any given Saturday. Anything can happen on the road. It's a weird place to play. You got to go up in elevation. And frankly, they're going to be chomping at the bit to do something. They play Houston on Saturday and Kansas the following Tuesday. So you got to kind of feel like they're looking for something, anything, right? But that being said, KenPom has these as a Tuesday with a 98% chance and Saturday with a 91% chance, getting some respect to the road game there to win. As the analytical models are all saying that these are games that you should win as Houston. And so as you're looking to get back on track this week, you're looking to rest Emmanuel this week. You're looking to kind of get back to the drawing board and kind of focus on your fundamentals and basics. And, hey, why are we getting out rebounded in these spots? Hey, why are we turning the ball over in these spots more? Hey, and you're trying to like fix those things. It's not like you're reinventing the wheel or throwing the baby out with the bathwater. You lost by 1 point at home to a team that's currently in the top 15, right? Could you play better? You could have played a lot better. Could you have won that game even without playing a whole lot better? Yeah, you could hit one or two more free throws down there in the stretch, run into that 1-and-1 at the back end until you're at 5. Like those kinds of things obviously added up. But as you're looking at this week, this get right week of sorts, I think you got every reason to feel confident about like kind of, refinding your focus, refinding your center with Oklahoma State and Colorado. And then on Monday, February 10th, Baylor comes to town. And I think Houston's better than Baylor. Baylor's got some really good wins, right? And so they got really athletic freshmen too. So you're kind of hoping that you're finding yourself getting back on track between now and then, so you can fly home from Colorado on Saturday, get ready for Baylor on Sunday, and go kind of reassert yourself as the alpha in the conference on Monday evening. Now we'll be following that each and every day here at Locked On Cougs. As more football news comes up, I just got a notification. It sounds like some offensive lineman class 2026 committed. That's going to be a big deal. We're talking class 2026 and some transfer portal stuff as well with a guest we'll talk about later this week. So all kinds of fun stuff going here at Locked On Cougs. Hit subscribe, hit the bell so you know we're live. Locked On Cougs, primarily Locked On Podcast Network. That means your team every single day. Go Cougs.